What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TCG Madness, and today we are doing another deck review for Altered TCG. We are going to be updating the Astadi and Surge ramp deck. So this will basically conclude all the Bravos heroes. So after this, we'll be done with Bravos, and then we'll be moving over to Muna next. So real quick, while I have your attention, please do me the big favor, like always, hit the like button. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to also hit that notification bell so you guys never miss when I drop a video, and please comment down below. Like the deck, don't like the deck, what you would change about it. Just let me know how you guys feeling about a lot of these deck reviews. Like all other reviews, again, we'll go through the hero real fast. We'll go through all the cards. I'll show you the stats, and then I'll show you guys a nice sideboard as well. So if you want to take the deck in a little bit of a different direction, because with the new set Trial by Frost, we definitely got some more cards and different directions that we can really take this deck if we really wanted to. So each deck, usually there's about like two possible directions you can really take. Does seem like there's at least now almost 3, maybe even 4 directions you can really take this deck. So very happy with that. So real quick, let's go over the hero. This is Astadi and Surge. Bravos hero, of course, 2 reserve, 2 landmarks. I begin the game with 5 heroism counters. When you play a character with a hand cost greater than or equal to my number of heroism counters, draw a card, gain a heroism counter. So again, you want to play big, powerful cards. So in order to do that, you got to ramp your way up there, play those big, powerful, costly creatures or characters, and then hopefully put a heroism counter to draw a card. Drawing cards, very powerful in this game. With the new set, we do get some good amount of cards that we can absolutely add to this deck, so I'm very happy with this deck build. I do think out of all of them, I definitely think Astadi and Surge definitely got the most help, and particularly right here, let's go over through the characters themselves. We got, of course, 3 copies of the rare Tiny Jin. It's a 1/2 for a 0/2/0. If I would leave the Exposition Zone while I'm boosted, put me in my owner's mana zone instead. When you play at the reserve, you will gain that boost. So if you play him at your reserve, he's going to gain that boost. He's most likely going to then ramp you up as long as he doesn't get removed. The other combo piece we do have with this, and I'm very happy with this card right here, is Fire Rabbit. I do think Fire Rabbit has become quite a staple now for Bravos. So very interesting here. We got a 1/1 for a 1/1/0. Play out of your hand, you may have me gain fleeting. If you do, another target character gains 1 boost. So of course, you have then Fire for just 2 mana right there, right? Play Tiny Jin, play Fire Rabbit, boost Tiny Jin. End of that turn, Tiny Jin should go right to your mana zone instead because he will be boosted. So hopefully you do 2 things, right? You advance and you get that boost coming right over to you. So immediately you're going to be ramping on day 2. So that's a really nice little combo piece right there. Very happy with Fire Rabbit. Definitely think it's a staple now in Bravos, as I've been building him and putting him in every deck. Next up, we have Scott. I've been looking for an opportunity to play this card. I do think it's very, very good, and I think this deck provides that perfect opportunity. 3 copies of this one for a 2/3 for a 2/3/2. You may exhaust target card in reserve, and again, target cards cannot be played and have no support ability. I do think this is the perfect deck because this is a nice little mid-range deck that I built. So of course, being able to tap down things in your opponent's reserve so they cannot use it is very good, because we are seeing a lot of reserve manipulation, specifically with the new set. This has also basically like a little bit of a pseudo removal, and removal with this deck is not really something you need. So we kind of foregone that conclusion right there, right? Removal, not really something you want. You just want a full ramp deck. That's pretty much what I built there. So by being able to tap things down, not being able to worry about cards that are coming out of your opponent's reserves is a nice little plus. Also has pretty good stats. Next up, we have 2 copies of Haven Serengar. It's a 2/2 for a 3/1/1. When I leave the Exposition Zone, if I was fleeting, draw a card. Pretty much pairs up beautifully with your hero. Drawing cards, especially early game, is really good because you won't be able to use your heroism counters just yet, because you have to get up to 5 or more. As you can see, as far as cards go, cost at 5 or more, we only have these cards right here. So in order to really draw, we have no other ways of drawing. So this card at least provides another opportunity to draw more cards. I actually do have a unique. So for this deck, I actually was able to put a unique in the deck. I have a unique Aja 3/4 for a 4/3/4. Each player puts the top card of their top card of the deck in their mana zone. So just more ramping right here. I would like it, of course, if it was just me, but it just states both opponents, and I do think this card is too good to not put in the deck. It also says too, for quick action, up to 1 target character gains fleeting. You're basically going to ramp twice with this card, right? Playing it out of your hand and out of your reserve, which why definitely belongs in this deck. Of course, if you're ramping successfully, you definitely want the rare version of the Tomo Gozen 3 copies. It's a 3/3 for a 2/5/5. Excellent stat, and it says I can't be played if you have less than 6 mana. If you ramp successfully, by day 3, you should be able to play this card. So having a 2/5/5 on day 3 is really good for just 3 mana. I like the stats a lot. Of course, if you're ramping, it wouldn't be a ramp deck without Mighty Djinn. 4/3 for 4/4/0. If I would leave the Expedition Zone, you may put me in my owner's mana zone. Of course, good stats, and immediately put it into your mana zone for ramp. Of course, we also have one copy of Achilles, 5/5 for a 5 across the board, tough one. The only reason why this is in the deck is for one reason and one reason only. If you are stuck at that 5 heroism counters, you basically want to drop that immediately as quickly as you can if you draw it into him, so you can then draw your card at the 5 heroism counters, then putting him up to 6, because of course, we got other cards that'll basically be able to, help you draw cards, but Achilles also just offers that opportunity if you're just at that 5 heroism. If you have them, play them. If you have other cards that you can, that can draw you some cards, just play those cards instead. Doesn't matter. It just says if it's greater than or equal to what he has. So, and I also I was at 38 cards. So I just slide it in there for 39. Next up, we have Demeanor. This will also be able to activate your hero's ability. It's a 6/6 for 6/5/5. If I'm in the grass zones, basically, I'm internal. During rest, I don't go to the reserve. So as long as you have grass on the Companion of the Heroism side, drop this card right on there. It ain't going anywhere. It's basically pseudo anchor as long as it's in one of those zones. So nice little card in the Expedition Zone. So nice little card there. Of course, we have one copy of Eros. Is another good card that will help you draw a card and activate your hero's ability. 7/7 for a 3/6/6. You may immediately play a character for 3 or less. Tomo goes in all the way down. Plenty of cards to play at 3 or less. Another good card too is an Adefaction Rare, Sakurabru. It's a 7/4 for 4 across the board. When you play it in your hand, your opponent's Expedition facing me moves backwards 1 region. Love this card. And of course, we got the big Leviathan in here as well to complete the characters and also help you activate your hero. 8/8, 6 across the board, gigantic and tough X, of course, between your region zones. So that's the characters right there. Moving over to the spells. For that additional ramp, of course, we got the mana channeling. Put the top card of your deck in your mana zone. Pretty self-explanatory there. We also have the rare version of Mana Reaping, 3 copies for a 3/3. Put target character or permanent in its owner's mana zone. So you can use it on yourself or you can use it on your opponent as also pseudo removal. And the other removal, and this is where, again, you guys can correct me if I'm right or wrong. I went with Geyser instead of Intimidation for removal. You could take this out and put Intimidation, but again, I went the full ramp route. It says return target character or permanent to its owner's hand. Then put me in your mana orbs. Again, you can use it on yourself or you can use it on your opponent as well. For the permanents, I actually went with the Magic Slave for this one because it is a mid-range deck that you are going to be facing some opportunities where you might be behind. This is an easy card to drop and then maybe help yourself push yourself forward the finish line. It's Magic Slave, 3/3. I gain fleeting. If my position would move forward during dusk, it moves twice instead. So, especially with these mid-range decks, I really do like this card. Just 1 copy, you don't need any more. And then we also have the regular version of the Eat Me Energy Bars, 3/3. If there is only 1 character in my position, it is gigantic. And again, this is a great card to drop with Sakurabru, Eros, Achilles, even Tomo goes in, even Demeanor. Like, there's a lot of great opportunities with cards with really good stats on here. If you drop this with the Eat Me Energy Bars, having both zones have these stats right here. Maybe if you put Leviathan on your hero side and Sakurabru on your opposite side, or Demeanor on the companion side, or even Tomo Gozen. Those are some really good stats for just, double-digit mana that you can cost, especially if you ramp accordingly. So that's the deck itself. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments section. For the stats, of course, we got heavies on the 1s, 2s, and 3s, and same thing with the reserve cost. Heavier on the 2s and 3s, which is a pretty good split there, and lower on the 1s. For attributes, man, this is a chef's kiss for attributes, man. 77 in the forest, 90 in the mountain, 67 in the ocean, and of course 9 spells, 4 permanents, 26 characters. A really good deck, I think, is Astadi and Surge Ramp. I think with the new set Trial by Frost, definitely some more opportunities to drop some big powerful creatures, draw some cards, and also ramp your way up there. And of course, you guys can see it's all legal except for cards owned and global validity. So that's the deck itself. If you guys want to take this deck in a different direction, I do have a sideboard that I put together. So let's go ahead and shift over there. For the sideboard, I have 15 cards for you. So if you went with a different direction, if you want to go with a little more boost friendlier option, one card I would definitely slide in the deck is Garrett, Revered Duelist. 3/4, 3 across the board. If I would gain fleeting, I gain 1 boost instead. There's plenty of opportunities to do that with. If you wanted to go more of a ramp, Mighty Simbi, 4/3 for a 3/04. When my expedition moves forward due to the grass expedition zone, you may put me in my owner's mana zone. So again, another great opportunity. If you guys remember the stats, I believe we were in the 70s for the force, so definitely an opportunity there. Rare Eros is also another card if you wanted to slide that in instead of the regular version. I definitely would put it in because, again, you may immediately play a character for 3 or less. It also gains 2 boost. Tomo Gozen's another good card for this one. If you wanted to do ramp, Tiny Jin would be a good one for this one as well. So if you wanted to go full, boosting and ramping, Eros, the rare version, definitely something to look at. Also went with 1 copy of Mana Flare for a 4/4. Immediately play a character for 5 or less. It gains fleeting. So again, if you wanted to go with playing more cards out of your hand, this also would help you out with the Mana Flare. And then I did go with the rare version as well. So if you want to slide that in too, definitely a card I would take a look at. It says immediately play character for 5 or less, no fleeting. So definitely a card. There's a lot of cards that are 5 or less. And if you do play it, we'll also be able to activate your hero. And then also too, since this is a mid-range deck, I did want to go with something a little bit different. I went with Icebound Peak as well as a sideboard. This also would be a card I would take a look at. Maybe even just 1 copy of it would be sufficient in the main deck as well. The 2/2, when a character you control gains fleeting, I gain a trial counter. When I gain my 3rd trial counter, sacrifice it and create a 5/5 illusion token in target expedition. Then each character you control gains a boost. So again, it would really buff up your stats a lot, creating that 5/5/5 across the board. That's the sideboard. Let me know what you guys think. Again, I think this is a pretty good deck right here between the main deck and the sideboard. Definitely different opportunities to take a look at to build this thing differently, which is, again, the beauty of Altered TCG. I do think this deck is definitely going to be one of the most fun decks to play with because of Trial by Frost. That new set really does boost it up. That Tiny Jin and Fire Rabbit combo, to me, is unbelievable just for 1 mana each. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. That's going to do it for me. If you made it this far in the video, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you guys next time.